Welcome back. I'm Tyler, you're watching Scarfing Scarves, and welcome to another installment of I'm Telling Tyler, our write-in show where you can ask me questions, send me the latest tea, and so long as it's at least Lolita adjacent, you can send your tea and or queries to imtellingtyler@gmail.com. Still doing the news voice on that. All right, let's get started with our next submission from James. And James says, "Dear Tyler, I was thinking about this question for a while now, and that question is, how young is too young to wear Lolita? I don't mean for this question to be ageist in any way, and I only ask because of how expensive and delicate some dresses can be. I haven't seen many Lolitas under the age of 13, and as a 17-year-old, I'm not actively seeking out younger members of the community. How young would you say is too young to wear Lolita? I first heard about the fashion between the ages of 11 or 12, but only recently have I actually considered purchasing a few pieces, especially since I discovered OG. And while I think technically anyone of any age can wear Lolita, what about going to Lolita meetups because some are held at fancy tea shops? Could someone between the ages of 8 through 12 have the maturity level to handle such establishments? I really want to hear your opinion on this, and I don't mean to gatekeep. I just want to know what the general feel on this topic is. Thank you for your time." Well, James, I see your issue. Let's break down your question. Your question is very simple. It's essentially how young is too young to wear Lolita, and you specifically reference the age groups as young as 8 and as old as 12 in the younger spectrum. You're kind of wondering, is there really an age cap? A lower age cap for joining the fashion? And honestly, I don't think anyone is too young to wear Lolita. I mean, you could put Lolita on a baby, and people have, for reasons that I will never fully understand as a cat person, all right? I am anti-baby. I like cats. I'm like the reverse dog people. Like how dog people hate cats, I'm a cat person who dislikes the babies. And I know I was a baby, but I got over it, as should you. Anyway, how young is too young? Honestly, I don't think anyone is too young to wear Lolita. I think there is a certain age where you are too young to be let out on your own at meetups. I think that 8 through 12-year-old range, you should not be at a meetup without your parents, and you should only be at meetups where the meetup organizer was like, hey, yeah, it's totally cool for younger people to come. If you're a young Lolita, you should have your parents or yourself contact the meetup organizer and be like, hey, I'm really young. Is this meetup okay for me to go to with my guardian? Or is it okay if my guardian waits outside while I go to this meetup? I think you need to ask. And why I think you need to ask is that most Lolitas are adults. The overwhelming majority of Lolitas are adults. They are bare minimum 17 and up. And you want to know why? Because Lolita is hecking expensive. I know that sounds like a great revelation for the Lolita community, but you cannot get Lolita for 2 shoestrings and a Coca-Cola. I don't know why we're going with like Depression era chicken trading. I don't know, 2 shoestrings and a cola. I feel like that could get you something in the Depression. Certainly not gonna get me out of mine. That got dark. If you are a young Lolita, I know James didn't ask me for any advice for young Lolitas, but I feel like this is a good door to break down and help you guys who are waiting outside Lolita fashion, wondering what age you have to be to get in. If you are a young Lolita and you've gotten your first dress and you really want to go to meetups, first you need to be old enough to be on Facebook, okay? Because that's how the Lolita community operates. So if you are under 12, maybe wait a little bit, okay? Most of these ladies, these frilly ladies are gonna be 18 plus, and they don't want to babysit you. Wait a few years, wait till you're at least 13 so you can be on Facebook, and then message a moderator, hey, is this meetup young Lolita friendly? Would it be all right if I attended? And if they're cool with it, they're cool with it. If it's at a dive bar, they're probably not gonna be cool with it. For ages younger than that 13-year-old Facebook cap, wear Lolita if you want to. If you somehow have the money to. I don't know how you have the money to. I guess maybe you got really good at Taobao at a young age, or you're on that secondhand brand market getting your stuff with your mommy's money. That's great, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe I'm a little bitter because back in my day, I couldn't even get my parents to buy fracking an Inuyasha box set online because they were worried the computer would steal their card and run away with it. I couldn't even buy shit on eBay, all right? My parents distrusted the internet that much. Now Lolita is so accessible, we have little 13-year-olds running around in full brand coordinates, and I'm a little salty about it, all right? I'm a little salty. You do not know the suffering. And I know the whole point is to make life better for the following generations, but that doesn't mean I can't be just a little bitter about it, just a little, a modicum of bitterness. I know you didn't ask about that, but I'm mad. I'm still a little mad about it. I couldn't even get them to buy me anime, and you guys are walking around with full-on angelic pretty coordinates. Do you know what I looked like in 2010? I had to sew my own underskirt, okay? I was wearing a special set, and I was so proud. Anyway, the short answer to this question is no. There's no age that is too young to wear Lolita. With meetups though, just exercise a little bit of restraint and understanding of meetup organizers, okay? If the meetup organizer isn't cool with having to babysit, I feel like a lot of Lolitas work in childcare industries and are nannies. The last thing they want to do is babysit your ass if you're like 12, which I don't know why you're watching this show if you're 12. Your parents obviously aren't watching your media consumption at all. You should not be here. No offense to anyone who's here, but you should not be here. I should not be here. You definitely should not be here. Just ask the meetup organizer, like, hey, is it all right if I come? Is it all right if my parent comes? And if they're not cool with it, they're not cool with it. Wait a few years to be an adult, like everyone else had to. If they're cool with it, go. There's plenty of like young Lolita friendly meets, but I would still want to know beforehand if someone's gonna drop their whole ass child on my meetup, all right? So if I'm hosting some shit and a 12-year-old bobbles in, I'm gonna have a problem. So yes, to wrap, anyone at any age can wear Lolita. As young as baby, as old as corpse, all right? I know we got dark there, but that's the spread, all right? I'm slowly dying, inside and outside. And as for meetups, just check with the organizers and ask if this meetup is young Lolita friendly. And don't use a Lolita fashion community as a babysitting group. This is just to the normie mothers out there. If you have like a Lolita daughter and you're somehow being taken to this show for various reasons that I will never understand, ask the moderators. We're perfectly normal-ish adults. We won't eat your child, but we will not appreciate a random child wandering into our midst without any kind of like heads up beforehand. Because when I talk to someone, and I've had this happen before, talking to somebody for like an hour and then find out they're 14 because Lolita just obscures every kind of age indicator I've noticed. It's a little like, ugh. I feel like I've committed a crime. It's like when a cop is following behind you, you're not even speeding, but you already feel like you've done something. It just makes me paranoid. I'm like, oh my God, I've been engaging with this child like they're an adult, and now I feel weird about it. I don't know what I've said over the past 5 minutes, let alone the past hour. I might have traumatized them on a new and unexpected level, and I would like to know beforehand, before I do that, so that I won't. Frackin' wear Lolita at any age, talk to your meetup coordinators beforehand. That's all I ask. Don't make me traumatize children. Give me a heads up. Wear a sticker on your face, all right, that says I'm underage, so I know, and I won't talk to you. Next, let's move on to our next victim. And our next submission is from someone we will call Peppermint. And Peppermint says, "Hi Tyler, I used to be an admin back in 2012 or so in a Facebook group for people looking to sell or swap Lolita goods for other Lolita or kawaii goods. As admins, we started to get complaints about a certain seller named Katie sending out packages that were very late and damaged, to say the least. After admins did some investigating and were sent videos and pictures from several sellers, we determined the seller was sending cheap/replica and damaged Lolita JSKs and OPs covered in, I hate that I have to say this, but they were covered and stained with bodily fluids such as sweat and animal or human puke and urine. Gross! She was promptly banned from our group and a warning was put out for her in other Lolita groups, but she hightailed it straight to another fashion community, the cybergoth world, where she was once again called out and banned for selling items covered in disgusting fluids. We all suspect she has a weird fetish for leaving her bodily fluids on clothing because she is now obsessed with the pet play fashion community and pretending to be a cat. I wish I was making all of this up, Tyler, but I'm sadly not." What the fuck? My favorite part of this is that this person is obsessed now with pretending to be a cat, and yet even a cat shits in a box. She can't even accomplish that much. And I'm both horrified and disgusted at the same time in equal conflicting measure. So I don't know whether to be agog at the level of depravity that humanity is capable of, or just be nauseous. Maybe a little bit of both. When I told you guys to send me tea, I wasn't expecting this. I'm so grossed out. I don't know why anyone would think this was okay. This makes no sense to me. I don't understand where this girl was coming from, and it's gotta be on purpose. I mean, the fact that we're looking at like, oh God, I can barely say it, but it had sweat and puke and urine on it. That is an unholy trinity, and I don't know how I feel about this anymore. This show is canceled. Oh my God, even a fucking cat shits in a box. I know I've already said that, but this girl's into pet play and she's not even fucking housebroken. My dogs growing up pawed at the door before they pissed on something. Jesus Christ! I was so mad in the last episode, but now I'm just traumatized. I'm gonna cry. That person came out of someone's area. This person was someone's daughter. Someone made this person. I presume not on purpose. I presume this person was made in the back of a van with a Rush song playing while they were drunk. Consensually, completely consensually. But we're talking gross, trashy van sex. My feelings have had to shut off to deal with this. So let me just break this down. This person would sell things covered in various bodily fluids. She would export herself upon the fashions and then sell it for money, because that's a normal thing to do. When you puked on something, you sell it to somebody. She's pulling a Kelly Eden with those fucking boots right now. Yes, I'm mad, and yes, I've seen that. You guys are really gonna make me report on Kelly Eden again. I hate you for it. How very dare you. But worse, I presume Kelly Eden is housebroken. This bitch, on the other hand, I think, honestly, you did not run into a person. I think you ran into 3 possums stacked on top of each other in a JSK, who were never properly housebroken and were selling Lolita JSKs and OPs. I mean, I usually say that she sold some shit, but she literally almost sold some shit. I didn't know that was a thing that people did. But now I do, and my life is definitely worse off for it. So thank you. You've thoroughly ruined my day. I think we're gonna wrap that up. I'm sorry you went through that. My advice is, for anyone out there who's considering being like Katie, is don't. So thanks, Peppermint. I'm going to go drink to forget. That's all the time we have for tonight. I know that's the outro to Lolita News, but my brain is truly fried after reading that. Thank you for watching our latest installment of I'm Telling Tyler. I'm sorry. And if you would, for some reason, like to submit to this show, you can send your questions and or tea to imtellingtyler@gmail.com so that we can talk about other things and eclipse what we just experienced. I will never forget this. This will go with me to my grave. There's the link. There's the email. Distract me. I would like to thank my patrons for being the reason that I can do this, for better or worse. Thank you. And should you like to join their number, you can head over to patreon.com/lastweeklolitanews for more things that just traumatize me. Thanks again, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Let's imagine this frackery as a stairway, okay? A stairway of horror. And on each step is a new revelation after having bought from this person. You buy from her, you get the dress. Oh, that's weird. It smells bad. Then you notice there's puke. And then you notice it's a replica. And then you notice someone has peed on it. A moment of silence for my faith in humanity.